What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gym. Y'all gotta excuse me, as you can see, I ain't been to the barber in a minute. I need to get this tightened up. But I seen a candid, I guess impromptu interview, or somebody put a camera in front of Gary Russell at the fight the other night, and he had some words about Tank. And I'm gonna just come out and say it, man. And excuse me, I'm actually cooking myself a late dinner while I'm doing this, but Gary Russell Jr., he's starting to come off as a hater, man. And I mean, I wouldn't say this just after one questionable thing you did, but you've said and done a lot of questionable things over time. I can think back to you critiquing how Floyd was handling Tank's career. You've been very critical of Tank, and I think you're coming off as bitter and jealous because Tank came to your hometown and did record-breaking numbers, something, you've been fighting a lot longer than him, and, from D.C., and he's from Baltimore, and he did something in D.C. you weren't able to do. He's a bigger draw than you. He had a record-breaking gait, and from what I understand, they did about 500,000 pay-per-view buys. So, for all intents and purposes, he had a great night of boxing in D.C. Put D.C. legend Lamont Peterson on the card. And like I said, I guess just because, you and your brothers weren't involved, you coming off as a hater. Now he's slow of foot, and he's slow and flat-footed, and they better keep him away from you. My thing is, why would he have any interest in fighting you at this point? What would Gervonta Tank Davis gain from fighting Gary Russell at this point? Gary Russell, you're coming off a loss. A loss to a guy that can't stand in the same country as Gervonta Tank Davis. You need to get smoked back with Mark Messiah before you start worrying about Tank. And to say he's between a rock and a hard place between you and your brother. Your brother's a great talent, just as you are. But who is your brother beat at this point that will put him in a position to deserve a fight with Tank? I understand what you're doing, trying to keep your name in the mix. I get it. But I think you're going about it the wrong way. I don't think you're in a position where you can badmouth him into giving you a fight. I think the better angle would be, because, you're in a position where he doesn't need you and you would need him, where you come off, as a gentleman and just say, listen, we from the DMV, I'm a DMV legend, you a DMV legend, let's do it for the DMV. I think that angle might work out a little better for you than coming out and critiquing him, criticizing him, because what it is at the end of the day at this point is nothing more than a payday for you. You know what I mean? Your name is not really in the mix right now. He'd be bringing you back in, so he'd be doing you a favor. So I think you should come off a little more humble if you're interested in getting that fight. That's just my thoughts, you know what I mean? Also, another questionable thing you did years ago that made me question you the first time, when you was bragging about your brother, who was a grown man at the time, knocking down a 16-year-old Jalil Hackett. Where did they do that at? He dropped a kid, and you felt the need when you was going back and forth with Dynamite and others about what happened between you and Terrence Crawford at camp. Why would you throw that young man under the bus like that? Because you had a problem with his father. Like, dropping a 16-year-old as a grown man is nothing to brag about in my book. Anyway, the Russell brothers, y'all are tremendous fighters. But what y'all did at the fight the other night was some hating shit, and I'd like to see y'all do better. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.